In today's episode, I'm going to show you the top 10 tips to study smarter and not harder. So let's get started. Perspective Plans with new videos and podcasts weekly. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/perspectiveplans for exclusive videos and more. Visit perspectiveplans.com for all of your planner and stationery needs. Only at Perspective Plans, helping you plan for what's to come. Hello everyone, I'm Christina B. Rising and welcome to the Perspective Plan Show, where I help you boost your productivity and stay organized so that you can easily handle whatever life throws at you. I upload new videos and podcasts every single week, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss anything. Shop for workbooks, printables, and stickers at perspectiveplans.com. And last but not least, this episode would not be possible without the support of our Perspective Plans patrons and channel members. Thank you. Now let's get into this episode. Do you think your techniques of studying are insufficient? Many have recognized that their high school study strategies don't exactly translate to a college setting. Considering how varied college may be, this makes complete sense. Reading is difficult, exams are worth more, classes can even be harder, and professors are much less interested in you or your education. Actually, all you need to do is learn more effective study strategies. You don't even need to alter who you are. Thankfully, a variety of effective active study techniques have been shown in college courses. So here is a list of 20 tried and true study strategies to get you started and having straight A's this semester. Tip 1. Prioritize the process over the result. Successful students focus more on understanding the material than on aiming for a certain type of grade. According to a study by Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, these students prioritize effort above outcome, prioritize the process above the results. They believe that if they work hard and put in the necessary time, they can progress, even in their very poor areas. Accept challenges. Success is defined as putting forth the effort to learn something new, not as attaining perfection. A student who is not very successful usually sets performance objectives, but a good student often sets learning goals. So what distinguishes these two kinds of objectives from one another? Performance objectives are all about seeming smart and showing oneself to others. Examples of these would include scoring 90% on the next math exam and getting into a top-ranked institution. On the other hand, learning objectives like solving 3 algebraic problems every other day or picking up 5 new French terms each day focus on mastery and, of course, development. The majority of schools place a strong emphasis on passing a given number of courses or earning a certain test score. Ironically, you'd be better off focusing on the learning process and disregarding the intended goal if you truly want to reach and go beyond these requirements. Tip 2. Acquire the same knowledge in many methods. According to the study by Willis J. in 2008, various media activates distinct brain regions. Your chances of understanding and remembering the knowledge increases with the number of brain regions that are actually active. Thus, you may perform the following to learn about a certain topic. Watch a video on Khan Academy, examine the lecture notes, go through the textbook, make a mental map, research websites on the topic, do a few practice exercises using a range of resources. Share your knowledge with someone else. Naturally, you won't be able to do each of these tasks in a single session, but you can get creative in how you learn. However, utilize a new resource or approach every time you study the material. This will help you learn the material more quickly. Tip 3. Maximize your class time. Attend every class, listen intently to the lectures, and organize your notes so they make sense to you. Being able to comprehend your own notes when you go back to them is the aim. Oliver, an international Chinese student studying at the University of Kansas, says that paying attention in class is increased when you take excellent notes. It will be very beneficial when you study for the test. Additionally, if anything is unclear, raise your hand and ask questions or even jot down a note to speak with your professor or teacher about it after class. Tip 4. Instead of concentrating on just 1 or 2 things a day, study a variety of disciplines. Studying a variety of things each day can help you remain focused more than focusing heavily on only 1 or 2 things. For example, it's best to study a little bit of each topic every day if you're getting ready for tests in arithmetic, chemistry, physics, and of course, history. Compared to concentrating just on arithmetic on Mondays, history on Tuesdays, physics on Wednesday, and chemistry on Thursdays, and so forth. This method will enable you to learn more quickly. Why? because studying a lot of the same material in one sitting increases the likelihood of confusing related facts. Therefore, divide up your study time for each topic to learn more quickly. Your brain will have more time to process and retain what you've learned if you do this. Tip 5, choose the correct course of action. Different strategies are needed for different kinds of college exams. Selecting multiple choice requires attention to definitions and even ideas. Doing essay assessments demand that you demonstrate a mental grasp of the subject matter. To help you prepare, ask your lecturer about the exam structure. Tip 6, rather than cramming, review the material sporadically. To transfer knowledge from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, you must periodically revisit the material. You will get higher test grades if you do this. According to the study by Sapita N. in 2008, periodic reviews are much superior than cramming. The ideal time to review material varies based on how long you want to remember it. However, my personal and professional experience with students has led me to believe that the following review intervals are effective. First review, 1 day after the acquisition of the new knowledge. 3 days have passed since the first review. Now you have 3 reviews, 7 days. 3 reviews, 7 days after the second. 21 days have passed since the third review. 30 days after the 4th review, and the 5th review, 45 days after the 5th review. The 6th review, review 7, 60 days, subsequent to review 6. Tip 7, make a study guide of your own. Even while many lecturers provide study guides, making your own might improve your comprehension of the subject matter. It might be useful to create an outline of the knowledge you should acquire and to have it handy for reference as you study. Making your own study guide may greatly improve your ability to understand and remember the content covered in class. Even though study aids are often provided by professors, creating your own enables a more in-depth interaction with the material. Not only can the process of summarizing important ideas and facts help you retain what you've learned, but it also acts as a useful guide for future study sessions. By arranging and condensing important information in a way that suits your preferred method of learning, you actively interact with the content and promote a deeper understanding. It's a doubly beneficial study approach since the process of generating the guide itself reinforces what you've already learned. Tip 8, condense, summarize, and simplify the data. Utilize mnemonic techniques such as acronyms, since research has shown that they improve learning effectiveness. Example number 1, which stalagmites and stalactites grow from the bottom and which ones grow from the top of a cave? In contrast to stalagmites, which grow from the bottom, stalagmites develop from the top. Example number 2, you might use the following like an acronym or even a sentence to help you remember the electromagnetic spectrum in ascending frequency order. Furious Martians used X-ray guns to invade Venus. The electromagnetic spectrum is composed of the following frequencies in ascending order: radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-rays, and of course gamma rays. When possible, use mnemonic devices to help you study. You can even condense the data into a mind map, a graphic, or even a comparison table. These resources will enable you to absorb the material much more quickly. Tip 9, put your concerns in writing. Concerns. What happens if the test is more difficult than you thought? Will this test go well for me? What happens if I forget the most important ideas and formulas? Before a test, these types of things most likely cross your mind. However, if these ideas spiral out of control, the ensuing worry may have an impact on your grades overall. This is the answer. In one study, University of Chicago researchers found that students who wrote for 10 minutes about how they felt about an impending test outperformed those who didn't. According to the experts, this method works particularly well for those who worry a lot or even have anxiety. Additionally, expressive writing such as journaling has been shown by psychologist Kitty Klein to enhance memory and even learning. According to Klein, this kind of writing helps kids communicate their unpleasant emotions and reduces their tendency to get sidetracked by them. Take 10 minutes to jot down everything that's worrying you about the upcoming test in order to reduce your anxiety. In result, you'll likely get higher grades as a consequence of using this amazing exercise. Tip 10, make a connection with knowledgeable material. Make connections between new ideas and what you already know to accelerate your learning. According to experts like Henry Roediger III and Mark A. McDaniel's book, Make It Stick: The Science of Successful Learning, you will pick up new material more quickly if you can make a strong connection between it and existing knowledge. You may compare the flow of water to electricity, for instance, if you're studying about it. A battery is like a pump, voltage is like water pressure, current is like the flow rate of water, and so on. As an additional example, consider white blood cells as tiny little soldiers that are protecting your body against illnesses, which would be the enemies. Considering how to relate new knowledge to what you already know requires thought and of course work, but the effort is well worth it. Tip 14, read aloud the important details. Research has shown that reading aloud increases pupils' retention of material more quickly than reading quietly. So, what causes this to be the case? You can see and hear information when it is read aloud. Conversely, when you read quietly, you are only able to view the information. Reading aloud each and every word in every set of notes is impractical. That would be much too time-consuming. Thus, the method I suggest following to read aloud while studying is as follows. Step 1. Highlight the important ideas and equations in your notes as you read them. Underline these important ideas or even equations and go on without pausing to remember them. Step 2. After finishing Step 1, for the whole set of your notes, return to the sections that have been highlighted. Simply return to the sections that have been highlighted and repeat each idea or even equation aloud as many times as you see fit. Read each equation or topic carefully. Step 3. Take a 3-minute pause after completing this for each of the important ideas or equations that you have highlighted. Step 4. After your 3-minute break, cover either with your palm or even a piece of paper each highlighted notion or even equation one at a time to find out what exactly you've really learned and test yourself. Step 5. Go through Step 2, 3, and of course 4 again for the ideas and equations that you haven't been able to correctly remember. Bonus tip if you made it this far into the episode. If you take a 1-hour class, you need to take 2 extra hours out of the class to study. So if you're taking 15 hours a week, you need to have 30 hours to study after class. Here's a pro tip. If it is written on the board, add it to your notes. It just might be on the test. And here's our last pro tip. Final exams and midterms tend to count heavily toward your final grade, whereas classwork, papers, and quizzes tend to factor in less. Check your syllabus to find out how your college exams will affect your final grade. Share this awesome episode with someone you know who needs it to help them plan for what's to come. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate for you to miss the next episode. Now let's get into our recap. So let's do a quick recap just in case you missed a tip. Tip 1, prioritize the process over the result. Tip 2, acquire the same knowledge in many methods. Tip 3, maximize your class time. Tip 4, concentrate on 1 to 2 things a day. Tip 5, choose the correct course of action. Tip 6, rather than cramming, review the material sporadically. Tip 7, make a study guide of your very own. Tip 8, condense, summarize, and of course simplify the data. Tip 9, make a connection with knowledgeable material. Tip 10, read aloud the important details. You can do anything, but don't do everything. David Allen. There is a lot of information in this lengthy episode. However, try not to become overwhelmed. Not everything has to be implemented this semester. As old people say, how is an elephant eaten? Bite by bite. Likewise, apply each of these suggestions in this article one at a time. Concentrate only on one suggestion every week or even per month. Proceed to the following piece of advice after you've made it a regular study routine habit. Don't let obtaining straight A's become an unhealthy focus throughout the process. Ultimately, obtaining excellent marks is not the only goal of school. It is about striving for greatness. It has to do with developing your advantages. Additionally, it's about developing yourself so you can contribute more successfully. It requires a lot of effort, but I have faith that you can handle it. I just want to take a moment to thank our patrons and channel members. This episode would not be possible without your support. Thank you. And if you would like to support the show, visit patreon.com/perspectiveplans today. Thank you so much for stopping by and pressing play. I truly appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comments or your podcast review what tip you'll be using. Keep planning for what's to come, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.